Welcome back to another episode of the Know Your Rights Camp podcast. My name is Alysha P, and we're here today for another Know Your Rights Camp in Los Angeles, sunny Los Angeles, California. And to my right, I have my co-host, Karl Ferguson.
How you doing?
And to my left, I have my other co-host, Dr. Milo.
Peace, peace.
And to my other left, we have the beautiful Jasmine Simone, who is a certified nutritionist and agricultural therapist. How are you today?
I am amazing. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I'm great. So tell me a little bit about what you do and what you advocate for.
I love people. I love my people, and I advocate for health and wellness. That's what I do.
Wonderful. Dr. Milo, I didn't get a chance to say what you do and who you are. Tell us a little bit of
thank you for saying doctor. I feel all special. So I'm Dr. Milo Dodson. I'm a licensed psychologist here in the amazing state of California. And I was at the UC Irvine Counseling Center for 8 years and currently senior manager for diversity, inclusion, and community outreach at Belkin International. So sorry for all the extra words.
We need the credits. Run them. Myself and Karl are health and wellness, mental health wellness advocates. So today's conversation is going to be about a breakdown on what proper daily diets should look like. Is there a diet that is one size fits all?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Well, I'll just start with saying everyone's at a different place, right? Mm-hmm. So there are some people who are in chronic stages of illness. Mm-hmm. That person is not, understandably, at the same place as someone who's been eating well or someone who is even at the beginning stages of. So everyone's at a different place in their journey, right? We're not one size fits all anything, right? And so food is the same way. It is specific to the person, right?
Yeah, that's
and their
interesting.
Journey.
And Dr. Milo, do you agree with that perspective? Is that how you feel? Do you feel like it is one size fits all?
No, I think just like we know that people heal our minds differently, I assume that we also want to make sure that we heal our bodies differently. So the nourishment that we need for our bodies is going to differ from one body to the next. So, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now, what does a healthy daily diet consist of?
You know, a lot of people ask this question. They say, what should I be eating? And one of the things that I'm really intentional about is words. We want to choose them carefully. And most of the time when we say should, it implies some form of judgment. Right? So I want to take
That's real good.
out of the conversation
Yeah.
and reframe how we even look at food, right? I shouldn't be eating this or I should be eating this. And even a simple switch from should to get to, right?
Ooh,
I
that's
get
good.
to, right? If you have to make dinner for your family and then you say, and you're tired, you had a long day and you say, I have to make dinner versus I get to make dinner. Man, I get to make dinner. I get to be in charge of the nutritional health of my loved ones and the people I care about. I get to impact their emotional and mental well-being and give life to them through these nutritious foods. Get to is a way more empowering position, right?
Like as an opportunity,
It's an opportunity.
Yeah.
So the get to your question, you know, we get to find these opportunities in food and these moments where we can eat, you know, according to eat the foods that will help our body feel energized and alive and enriched, and our brains, you know, cognitively on track. And we want to be able to extract those benefits from the food. That's where we want to focus on.
What would I look at to say, you know, well, I get to have a healthy daily diet? What does a healthy daily diet look like for someone?
Right.
Great question.
So, yeah, that is a really good question. And I would say, well, it could look like, right? And again, at different stages. So when I'm with a client and we're talking with nutrition and someone's like, I want to go completely plant-based, and you were just eating, you know, hog maw or pork chop yesterday.
Wait, what was the first one?
Hog maw.
Hog maw. You seen Friday? Hog Mog. Whatever that is. So if you were just eating something, right, and then you just want to switch over and go play, I said, let's gradually, right, and with grace, move to where we want to be.
With grace is important. I think people don't realize there's so much grace you have to give yourself with food.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people, by the way. I'm very hard on myself.
Also, I'm going to even say what she just said, not just have to give yourself, but get to give yourself.
Oh, that's
Come on now.
good.
Because when you're saying, I have to, think about the amount of pressure that we're putting on ourselves to try to make something out of nothing.
See, I need y'all in my life every day.
That we here.
We're here. That's why we're here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's super important.
I
So
get to give myself grace.
I get to give myself grace. I get to choose what I put into my body.
Right.
So those are all privileges that we should see for ourselves.
Right. But on a practical level, we want to make sure that we're getting water, right? Enough water, starting the day with water. And, you know, a lot of times people will wake up and have coffee or as I call it, bean soup, right? Which is coffee, right? It's soup.
You're throwing out all the food. I never heard of that one
It's
either.
soup, right? I mean, it's beans, it's water, it's soup, right?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so people will have, or something really, you know, carb rich. When you wake up in the morning, we call that first meal breakfast. Break fast. You're breaking your fast from the night, and you want to allow your colon a chance to just replenish and ease into the day.
Yeah.
So a good way, if available, you know, could look like water first, preferably room temperature. Not, even if it's an 8-ounce glass in moderation.
Yeah.
If that's too much, start with a 4-ounce glass. And to your very first question that you asked at the top, is one thing for everyone? No, because someone might be able to wake up and drink 16 ounces straight off. And that might be a struggle for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know, so start with the 4 ounces, put it right by the bed. In the morning, you just have your 4 ounces
Cheat
of
code.
water.
That's the cheat code. Put it right by the bed.
Yeah. And then you want to ease into the foods of the day. So preferably after the water, a green drink.
Yeah.
Right? And again, the ounces can vary. Just you get to have grace with yourself, depending.
And by
where
green
the
drink,
person
you
is.
just mean all the veggies, all the fruits and whatnot that we can. Okay.
And if available, like, you know, do a fresh juice. You could do a store-bought juice or something like that. And that's how you start to train your body to even desire more food. Because what happens is by 12 o'clock, a person might go back and eat something else, but you're training your mind and your body to desire those nutrients, and they're gonna want that feeling again. The body's gonna want that feeling.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
With inflation and income disparity, wanted to touch base on how that can impact one's diet, and how does cutting corners do to that? How does that impact one's daily diet?
A lot. It's a serious, you know, issue. Not being able to afford food that nourishes us. That's a problem. There are a lot of things that, and not only I want to just make space for the fact that it not only affects the physical well-being, but the emotional and mental well-being, right? If you know that you have a desire, if a person knows they have a desire to eat well and feed their family well, but they can't afford the food, the cost of the food due to inflation, that is wreaking havoc inside, right? And so
Yeah, I think the reality is, again, everything's connected, right? So not being able to afford the food, the combination of I'm not having just not the access, right? But I'm also not being able to nourish myself. And the combination of like the mental warfare, like I don't have the money to give myself the nourishment.
it's heavy because we want to make space for that. Thank you. Because you said it so well, because sometimes you just think it's about the money. Like I can't feed the food, but just making space is like, no, this person or people, you know, our people are going through it, right? And then that impacts relationships and dynamics. It plays into so many things that we sometimes fragment, but they are connected.
Yeah.
You know, so but there are, I like to always point out, to try and, no matter where we live, try to connect if there are some local farmers, right? Anyone planting a community garden, right? To get to understand that a lot of people have taken back that, their power, and started to find places, even in medians on highways, where they can grow their own food, right? Even if it's something small. And I think just that bit of empowerment can shift the psyche and the health and well-being. Did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely.
So very similar, and I think we have enough time for probably just one more question here. So very similar to what Karl asked about, again, today's not a financial podcast episode, but the reality is we know that there are millions of people going through and navigating food insecurity. And so I'm really curious to know, kind of a two-part, how do we maintain a healthy diet as we're navigating food insecurity? And then how do we even combat that, whether on an individual and or system level?
Right.
Like food insecurity is huge, huge.
And so I'm so glad that you said that this is not a financial conversation, because I think there's space for it to be a financial conversation, right? Because financial peace is a real thing. It's a goal, right? And it can be brought into the conversation because people who are financially insecure find themselves food insecure as well, right? And so even having conversations about how to manage money, right? How much of the money of the household budget is going towards recreational activities or food, and how is the money being spent? Are we meal prepping? Are we eating out, right? And then, I mean, like you said, is there one size fits all? Everyone doesn't have the same life, right? So a single mother with 4 children who's time insecure, right? We're talking about resources here. We're talking about food is a resource, time is a resource, finances are a resource. Right. So the single mother with 4 children who is time insecure, she doesn't have that time luxury a lot of times, or may not have that time luxury to meal prep for the week and to save money. She's hanging on.
She's
right?
stopping by,
She's
at,
stopping
the
by
fast
at the
food.
fast food because that's what she has left at the end of her day. She has given all of herself to the hours of the job and whatever else, those dynamics. So these kind of interpersonal conversations, we can't take out of this food conversation. Right? And so that's why I started by saying I love people and I love my people, because every single time I work with people, a group of people or individual person, I want to know about the whole person. Right? What's going on with you mentally, spiritually, physically, financially. Right? So what's going on in your bank account, a lot of times it could match what's going on in the health account or what's going on in the, you know what I mean? So these things are related. It's one conversation.
That is so good. Awesome. That's very true. That's very honest. I think the last thing that we should just talk about is your beautiful book, Fork Disease, Go Vegan. Just tell us a little bit about the book and where we can buy it and where we can find you.
This book is my second book that I wrote with my amazing, talented, brilliant sister. We wrote this book several years ago. This was a labor of love and a gift to our people. Fork Disease, Go Vegan. 7 simple steps to experience life in the energy center. So it does detail some of the things that we talked about here, simple things that we can do, incremental changes, how we can gradually move into health and wellness, right? And so we wrote this book because my sister and I went on a journey of health and wellness together. And it came from me being on the journey and being non-judgmental towards her. And then her shifting her life and seeing those health benefits and working through her health challenges. And then she wound up co-authoring the book with me, right? And
full circle, for real.
Full circle.
Wow.
And so the book is online. You can find it on Amazon, but we usually just give them away at speaking engagements and gifts and stuff like that. We really just wrote it to
if
be
it's gone by the time you get up off this couch.
You know why. My name is Alysha P.
I'm Karl Ferguson.
Dr. Milo Dodson.
And if you want to know more about what we're doing, make sure to visit knowyourrightscamp.org.